Going into day 10, I think day 9 is today, day 10 of the standoff in Davao City. Let's get the insights of a legal expert. Welcome back to Storycon, Attorney Domingo Cayosa, former national president of the IBP. Sir, magandang hapon and welcome back to Storycon.
Magandang hapon, attorney. No? Kailangan namin kayo. Hindi kami learned dito eh. Kaya...
Hi, attorney.
We are not learned in the law.
And Donald and Ami, magandang hapon sa inyo.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, let me start off with this. Of course, we know that nagsimula yung pagsaserve ng arrest warrant nung Sabado pa, last week. So we're now in day 9, going to day 10. And there are a lot of people asking, hindi na ba ito stretch ng pag-serve ng arrest warrant na magsasampung araw na, hinahalughog pa rin ng isang lugar kung saan pininiwalang nandun yung inaaresto.
Ano bang limits, attorney, ng ganitong klaseng search operations?
Well, wala ho namang limit. There is no limit to the implementation of the search warrant. Lalong-lalo na in a situation like this na kung saan there are indicators that the suspect or the subject of the warrant of arrest nandun at nagtatago. So as it will be valid and it remains the duty of PNP or anybody serving the warrant of arrest na talagang hanapin, halughugin hanggat matuntun siya dyan sa lugar na yan. So hanggat nagtatago siya, hahanapin siya at aaresto rin siya. So there's the rules of court, jurisprudence or the law does not provide for a deadline. Hindi naman ito yung 8 to 5 lang, banking days or office days lang, walang weekend. It's really hanggang ma-serve ito. So
attorney, theoretically, pwedeng several months sila, okay lang.
Or indefinitely.
Yes, as long as there is reasonable belief and basis for them to say nandun na siya. So far, they say nasa underground siya, meron daw silang ginagamit na equipment at nakikita lang merong tao doon. Hindi naman tinuturo o kaya binibigay sa kanila ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ authorities yung mga susi o yung daanan. So they are authorized to use reasonable means, even reasonable force, to effect the warrant of arrest.
Attorney, that's an arrest warrant. Hindi ba separate yun sa search warrant? O kapag may arrest warrant ka at hinahunting mong ganyan, hindi mo kailangan ng separate search warrant?
Hindi na ho. Mabutit natanong mo yan, Ami, kasi akala ng lahat kailangan may search warrant.
Yes.
Hindi ho. Once there is a warrant of arrest, the serving authorities can use that to enter any building. As a matter of fact, they can even break down the doors and destroy things.
Yes.
Just to get to. So hindi na ho kailangan ng separate search warrant.
So hindi
kung ano daw yung address, halimbawa ganyan, mayroong several properties si Apollo Kibuloy, hindi daw pwede kang mag-search covered by the arrest warrant kung ano lang yung address na nandun. Hindi ka pwedeng lipat-lipat kung saan-saan. Kasi kapag ganun daw, you're showing na hindi kayo, meron kayong doubt na baka wala dun sa isang lugar. And you have to apply for arrest warrants for every address. Tama ba yun?
Not exactly correct. No? Kasi for example, in this particular case, alias warrant of arrest na ito eh. Kasi yung una, hindi nila na-serve kasi hindi nila alam kung nasaan. Ngayon, alam na nila. There's intelligence report, they have reliable information, nandun siya sa loob. So they don't need any. Now, the other thing is, kahit nga saang lugar, kung nakita siya, hindi na nila kailangan humingi ulit ng another warrant of arrest or another search warrant because the arrest warrant remains valid until mahuli at habang nakikita and there's reasonable ground to believe nandun siya sa lugar na.
Attorney, anong impact ng TPO dito sa arrest warrant? Anong kanya? Anong relasyon niya?
Temporary protection order.
Well, una, the TPO does not invalidate, it does not quash the warrants of arrest issued by RTC Pasig, RTC Davao, and the Senate. Tatlo ho kasi yan eh.
Yes.
At meron pa yung in-issue sa United States, but that's another story. So, sa TPO, ang petitioner dyan, beneficiary, hindi ho si Pastor Quiboloy, kundi yung mga members and officers of
KOJC.
Kingdom of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So, if you look closely at the TPO, at maganda napapaliwanag natin, it does not stop the policemen from serving the warrants issued by a co-equal RTC. In fact, procedurally, a co-equal branch cannot do that. But yung TPO is just to protect the life, liberty, and safety of the petitioners. Yung mga mag-aaral, yung mga opisyal, para makapasok sila, makapag-aaral, makapagsamba. And that's about it. As long as the PNP respects that, wala po silang problema. It does not take away or diminish their duty to enforce the other warrants.
Attorney, yes, sir. Attorney, I understand what you're saying na, na so long as there's reasonable belief, basis for reasonable belief that he's there, then they can still continue in trying to effect the arrest of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. But at the same time, I suppose the pertinent words there are reasonable belief, in which case that is, I suppose, subjective and depending on the interpretation of the police as to whether or not he is reasonably believed to be there. My question has to do with this. Until when or how basically, how do we guarantee that the rights of people are protected against possible abuse of authority by those trying to enforce an arrest warrant? Kasi they can always say na we still believe he's there and we don't know.
Dagdag sa tanong ni Ed, attorney, paano kung magko-contradict, magbubungguan yung TPO at saka yung arrest warrant? Halimbawa, naguhukay ka sa eskwelahan. So ititigil mo yung eskwela ng mga bata. So sasabihin ng TPO, teka, kaya nga kami may TPO para magpatuloy yung pag-aaral nila. So paano pag may bungguan ganon? How is it resolved? Mas powerful ba yung arrest warrant kaysa sa TPO?
Well, in that, I'll answer you first, Ronald. In that particular case, magkahiwalay naman yung responsibility ng PNP. Pangalawa, hindi naman, malaki naman yung area eh. So, kung maghuhukay man mga yan, they can cordon that off. Patuloy yung pag-aaral. Ang importante lang, nakakapasok sila, nakakalabas, nakakapagsamba, nakakapag-aral, at hindi na nalalagay sa panganib yung kanilang life, liberty, or security. So far, ginagawa naman nila yon. So, any act of the police in enforcing the warrants of arrest, as long as it does not violate yung life, liberty, and security ng mga petitioners, wala silang problema. So that's why nga, I think they know that. They have lawyers on both sides, so they're complying with that so far. I'm going kay Ronald naman yung how long will it take? Well, of course, reasonable belief, as you say, can be subjective, but reasonable belief must be based on facts on the ground. Diba? So, ngayon, ang fact is, it's a 30-hectare compound. So, may mga hindi pa sila napasok.
Yes.
Di normal lang na titignan nila yon. Plus, meron naman silang sinasabi na meron silang scientific way and you can research, and that's possible to identify kung may life ba dun sa ilalim nagtatago. At sinasabi nila meron. You know, they can be, whoever is questioning it can have access to that, or the courts can look into that. So far, hanggat hindi nila ma-fully search yung napakalaking compound, you cannot blame them for not doing their job, from doing their job. So, kung ito sana isang seated lang, isang apartment lang, tapos na yan, di ba? In a few hours, tapos na. Ito kasi, napakalaki. Pangalawa, kung binigay sa kanila lahat ng mga susi, di ba? Tinuro, binigay yung plano, di mas mabilis sana. But unfortunately, hindi nga ganun ang nangyayari. Well, the shortest way of doing this really is for Mr. Quiboloy, Pastor Quiboloy, to surrender. Nangyayari naman ito in other cases.
Attorney, in relation to that, may isa pang pinagtatalunan, ang demand daw ng kampo ni Pastor Quiboloy. magmangako ang gobyerno
A written
that he will
guarantee.
not be extradited sa US kung sakasakaling magsusurrender siya. Ang sabi naman ng ibang legal circles, kapag pinailang ka ng kaso dito sa Pilipinas, kailangan ma-resolve muna yon dito. Kailangan pabayaan muna yung legal system natin to take its course before you can be extradited. Ano po ba yung tingin nyo dyan sa usapan na yan?
Naintindihan natin, we could understand yung game plan ng mga abogado ni Pastor Quiboloy. Takot sila pag napunta sa US, baka mas mabilis kasi ang kanilang criminal justice system doon. You know, in a matter of months, tapos na. You know, even their own president, in a matter of months, tapos na. So, gusto nila, there is an assurance. But legally, not even our president can give that assurance because he'll be breaking the laws. Meron kasi tayong mga extradition treaties.
Yes.
Anyway, you don't need to worry because hindi naman yan automatic na papayagan yan. Titignan din nila kung yung the extradition treaty applies and that the rights of this Filipino, if he's tried in that particular jurisdiction, will be properly safeguarded. So hindi automatic. But you're correct and the legal scholars are correct in saying, siyempre, uunahin naman natin usually yung ating judicial justice process. Kasi nakakahiya naman na hindi pa dito na-address yung mga complaints ng people of the Philippines, dalihin na natin sila doon. So I think that will be more proper, that he will be tried here first and then later on extradited to face the charges doon. Minsan, in other cases, pwede rin sabay Pwede rin sabay na dalhin siya dito muna siya and then there's a lull in the trial which happens most of the time in our country, in our criminal justice system. Pwedeng dalhin doon.
Happens all the time here.
Importante lang naman presence
Yung
niya.
lal natin, 25 years.
Yun nga tanong ko, attorney, dahil minsan masyado matagal yung ating justice system. So, talaga bang kinakailangan hintayin yung extradition para matapos muna o pwedeng, sabi mo nga, pwedeng isabay? Dahil halimbawa, kung masyado matagal dito, no? Siyempre magagalit din yung Amerika dahil yung extradition treaty has the force of law, di ba? Dahil treaty yun na pinirmahan natin So, what will give kung sakaling may bungguan yung treaty at saka yung ating judicial process?
Well, I think, nasa atin kasi yung control We have custody of the accused. At Pilipino siya. At meron
wala pang custody.
So, hindi kakahiya din na kaagad ibigay. And Ronald, it's not dahil magalit ang United States, gagawin na natin. It's because that's the rule of law. That's what our own laws provide. Kasi yung treaty natin, extradition treaty with the US and many other countries, forms part of our law. So whether or not the President or DOJ or PNP would like it, kailangang sumunod tayo doon. So, but a good way of doing that really is, pwede namang maglalagari siya. It's just a question of, flying in and out of our country. But baka nga, if we do that, baka mapahiya tayo kasi makatapos na doon dito sa atin, hindi pa nagsisimula. It's a challenge for us, as lawyers.
Baka na-pardon na doon dito.
Bilisan natin dito.
Pero attorney, nakalagay ba sa fine print yon na kinakailangan munang matapos dito bago natin siya i-extradite? Nakalagay ba yun sa fine print ng ating treaty?
Wala naman. Wala naman. But legal principle, siyempre, uunahin naman nung country that has control.
Primary jurisdiction.
Oo. Pangalawa, I'm sure our country is also sensitive to the perception ng world community at ng ating kaalyadong US. Kailangan natin sila ngayon. Baka i-accommodate din yan. Ayun nga, maglalagari siya. So it's really a discretion on the part of our government na gawin yan. Yun lang nga, baka nga very stark ang contrast na tapos na sila doon, tayo hindi pa nangangalahati. So baka siguro ipakita na rin ng DOJ, ng ating hukuman, na kaya naman nating paspasan ito kung gusto natin.
Tony, questions for journalists naman. Kasi in cases like this, di ba, may arrest warrant, so papasok ang PNP, hahalugog. pwede ba sila magsama ng media sa private property to effect arrest warrant in this case? Or pwede ba silang harangan, for example, ng owner ng private property, in this case KOJC, na hindi kayo pwedeng pumasok dito yung mga pulis lang? Kasi it happened several times. It also happened, I think, today. The police tried to bring in the media, pero sabi ng KOJC, hindi kayo pwedeng sumama. So, give us give us your legal thoughts there.
Yung isang
para klaro sa amin.
Yung isang ang kasama sa istasyon nito, attorney, hinampas pa ng placard eh.
But they have a point naman. They have a point naman. Unless in the rules of engagement, wala naman kasing batas na nagsasabing kinakailangan may media. Pag search warrant, meron. Di ba?
Okay.
The rules require that. But pagdating sa warrant of arrest kasi, wala eh. Now, but then we have to understand, it's also a policy of government in the transparency, diba, of public function. Serving a warrant of arrest is a public function. So, kung meron sa rules ng PNP, pwede yung ganun, then perhaps we can cite that as a basis. But otherwise, tama naman yung, hindi mo naman pwedeng dalhin yung buong barangay doon kasi wala naman, hindi naman sila kapulisan. They are not the servers of the warrant. So, they also entitled to their privacy. I mean, the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Pwede rin ng palabasin nila, yung media, yun yung aming informer eh. So, there are many ways of handling that kung talagang kinakailangan. I think there's some basis dun sa concern and opposition ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ and the others in that place na pulis lang ang pwede kasi sila lang naman ang may legal authority to enforce the warrant of arrest.
Actually, makakatulong siya to protect the human rights of the accused. Diba? Kung nandun ang media, hindi siya maaabuso. Diba? Hindi siya ma-EJK.
Theoretically.
You have a point there, but you know, we cannot impose on the citizen, no, in this case the others. Ano ang kinakailangan para maprotektahan yung human rights. So sa tingin niya na violate na dahil sinasama yung media and yung publicity, edi meron naman silang karapatan para to maintain and safeguard their constitutional rights.
Okay.
Attorney, pahabol lang yung attorney-client privilege ba, no? Pwede bang pagtakpan ng attorney para makatakas yung kliyente?
Well, not exactly, no. It is true that there is a lawyer-client privilege and that cannot be broken, no, yung confidentiality.
Yes.
But there are legal exceptions to that. One is the attorney can break that privilege to prevent another crime. Or he cannot use that privilege to justify another crime. So alam naman ng mga abogado yan. So it's not absolute. There are limited exceptions to that rule.
So si Topacio pwede makontempt dun sa quad hearing.
Talagang
different case naman kasi legislative power naman. And mind you, there's a Senate warrant of arrest, hindi lang yung RTC eh. So maraming warrants of arrest dito si Pastor Kibuloy. So, and it's not just that, it's not just fairness to him or fairness to the victim. It should also be fairness to the PNP,
to the institution.
Fairness to yung mga nagpetisyon sa RTC for the TPO, no? And then fairness to Pastor Kibuloy, so that finally he will be given a fair chance to defend himself, di ba? Due process tayo. At pinaka-importante dyan, fairness sa ating lahat. Kasi ang complainant dun sa dalawang criminal cases, people of the Philippines. And we are supposed to be guaranteed a rule of law, yung equal application of the law to everyone. So, bakit special treatment dapat ito, di ba? And then, of course, yung justice for everyone. All of us are aggrieved, theoretically, by the criminal complaints of the private complainants.
Yeah. Okay. Maraming salamat, Attorney Domingo Egon Cayosa, dating Pangulo ng IBP. Thank you very much.